Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 in this best of 3 showdown. We are live with our MDL Autumn 2016 coverage here at Beyond the Summit. I'm LD. I'm joined by my comrade in arms, the one and only GoDz. And we will be bringing you an OG 1-0 advantage as they took game 1 pretty convincingly, GoDz. Really tough to deal with Morphling, who got entirely out of hand, and so far so good as he just hung up on me, so that's what he thinks of my intros. Yeah, we'll try and get GoDz back here as soon as possible, guys. But in the meantime, looking at the draft, curious to see what the adjustments will be from Newbee. It didn't really feel like they were that worried about the Morphling early on. In terms of the draft, they didn't like particularly try to counterpick him, just really the lion grab. But we'll have to see if they show it a little more respect this time around, as Shadow Demon is banned out for OG. The Kunkka gets removed here, even though he wasn't particularly effective. And with that, I believe we do have GoDz on the line.
I'm back. Don't know what happened there, sorry.
And so too is Dota. How MDL so far, is it living up to your expectations? You know, we've got like the floating Morphlings and Roshans on the desk, and you know, we're not there though. It looks very comfy.
Yeah, it looks good. You know, as far as the tournament goes and the quality of Dota, it definitely lived up to expectations. I think if anything, it's like surpassed them. I figured, oh, you know, TI just happened. Yeah, these are new teams and these are the same players and like amazing players, but it feels like everyone is like playing some really good serious Dota right now. It's the last tournament perhaps on this patch. Who really knows how long this patch has got left? 6.89, maybe coming soon.
Monkey
maybe not
King,
coming soon.
Maybe coming soon to a theater near you. Maybe Pit Lord in Captain's mode?
CM mode, you know.
Oh god.
Pit Lord? Yeah, Pit Lord first, actually. That sounds alright to me.
Just the lead Arc Warden from the game. Let's be serious.
Yeah.
A lot of the more cheesy Arc Warden stuff has been nerfed, but he is still a pain in the ass.
But it feels like everyone's going all out, you know. It's been really good high-level Dota.
Yeah, it's nice to see, you know, everyone like bringing their A game. It feels like the teams of, it doesn't really feel like anyone just kind of lazily like, you know, slopped up, you know, and just sat down like, we're just gonna play some Dota. We don't really care about our performance. Like pretty much all these teams have new rosters and a lot to prove, GoDz. And you know, outside of Wings, I don't know if anyone's real, and DC, I guess, I don't know if anyone's like got a lock on a major invite at this point. So there's a lot to play for.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Like, outside of Wings, who've kept their roster together, one TI. Maybe you could say DC only changed one player. It's kind of hard to really look at the teams and say, oh, this team deserves a major invite. This team should be there, because it's all new rosters across the board. So we'll see how things kind of shape up here at MDL as the first big tournament to kick off the season. And OG, Drow Ranger strats, tried, tested, proven to be just as good as ever on this patch. Why not, I guess.
Yeah, so Newbee, I guess a bit of a vulnerability discovered here by OG. They let the OD through. They forced Newbee to block pick it in game 1. It didn't work out. Clearly OG had the solution planned for it, especially with the Death Prophet mid. And so now they have to ban OD first phase, not wanting OG to get their hands on it, and that just frees OG right up to go into a Drow Ranger pick. Now granted, it is early. Still though, you never really want to see Drow in the hands of a team that knows how to run it. So, thoughts on Drow, GoDz? Is she still as dominant as what she was for a time at TI? Do you feel like teams have gotten better at figuring her out?
I don't really feel like teams have gotten better at figuring her out as the thing. That's like a lot of the other heroes that were popular, like got kind of figured out to some extent, or teams just adjusted, found heroes that kind of can counterplay. The Drow, the one hero that kind of we've seen some success is the PA, but not really an easy hero to pick up early on in the draft. So I think Drow was easily as strong as ever, and very much like if it's in the pool, why not first pick it kind of thing.
Now, taking a quick look at our 5 FPS booth cam. Try to bring you guys a little bit of the visuals here from the event, but unfortunately, Humao does not get through particularly well to the west. But Axe is the grab for Newbee, guys, and they get it very early. So they get an initiator. They also get someone that can potentially pressure that Drow's lane. Now, you know, that being said, we have seen teams run the Drow mid at times, or even dodge offensive dual or tri lanes, but this is going to be their initiator.
And even before seeing the supports, you don't really know for sure if you want to contest that lane, since Oracle, okay at the offensive lanes, but not amazing by any means. So if OG get like a strong support duo, you're not going to be able to even contest Drow in the safe lane. So likely we'll have to see maybe just Axe being used more as a kind of post-laning stage counter to the Drow. When you get the Blink Dagger up, having that gap closer, being able to jump on top.
So what do OG want to run with this Drow? Anything in particular that you're thinking? We've seen like the Dusa Drows, we've seen just the a la carte Drows in the past. They are Radiant here, I guess is the one thing to keep in mind.
For me, the first step is always secure some team fight. Don't just immediately pick like a mid-hero to partner with it. Pick up that offlaner like the Void, the Tide Hunters, something that can just start fights and help create some space and room for the Drow to work. Keep the support busy in the lane, and then when the team fights start happening, give you some control. Having like a 3 range lineup with the Drow, like the Puck off lane, the Queen of Pain mid, or the Dusa mid, those kind of lineups are just very gimmicky and all in, and more often than not have started to fail. That's where people stop picking Drow, but the resurgence of Drow really came with these teamfight specialists being paired with the Drow. Teams have even run Drow with a melee mid and a melee offlaner. There's lineups which only have Drow as a ranged hero. So
man, I'll tell you, Fly, he must be very happy to have Jarex aboard now. He was actually playing a bit of the Earth Spirit himself for a period, you know, if they wanted to put crit on like an IO, for example, but Jarex, I mean, crit has a great Earth Spirit, but I feel like Jarex is even just that little bit more impressive, at least as of late when I've seen him on it. And he's certainly delivered in Game 1.
It's Jarex. I feel like Fly wouldn't need anyone to tell him otherwise. Like he'd be like, yeah, Jarex plays a better Earth Spirit than me.
Yeah, certainly I don't think Fly does not have a huge ego when it comes to things like that. Or really anything. The guy is quite down to earth and modest in all of my interactions with him. So Storm will get banned out now by Newbee. Now this is a duo that we saw even like at the summit. It was something that EG was, it was at Starladder that they were starting to experiment with that Drow Storm combo, and, you know, help kind of mitigate the Storm's weaker laning stage with that bonus damage aura, but it won't be available here. It gets banned out nice and early by Newbee. The Naga removed by OG, and we'll have to see what they look to do from here. Batrider removed. He was quite impactful, so S4 is going to play something different. What is it going to be? Puck?
What is it going to be?
10 seconds.
Yeah, that'd be a throwback to a classic.
S4 Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, let's channel your. See, what's Bulldog been teaching you? When's the Lone Druid coming up for S4? But I think more realistically, we go back to like the team fighters, the Void, the Tide. Puck is alright, but still a bit maybe too squishy. Can get caught by the Axe. Doesn't actually lane all that well as far as getting XP goes. So.
Yeah, it feels like maybe they don't want the Void, because generally the Void does really well against Timbersaw with the time dilation. So annoying to play against. But perhaps more along the lines of the Tide Hunter you mentioned. So we'll see what they want. Newbee, 3rd pick, still no carries revealed as of yet. Lots of flexibility with their draft. Where would you like to see them go? Like if you had your pick of the litter. Oh. Lena comes out.
Yeah, that's aggression. I mean, we thought last game where they fell short.
Any chance of a support?
I want to say it's a mid, like Lena Oracle. That's like not a support duo that I particularly feel is going to be all that strong. Like, I feel like if you're picking a Lena, you do it because you've got a setup to go with the Lena. But I mean, Oracle not bad with the Fortune's End, but by no means is this like a support duo that to me looks all that scary.
Puck it is. So S4 sticking to his staples. And
wow. It's not necessarily an offlane Puck.
Yeah, it could be. It could, in theory, be, you know, something for Ana, and then they get something else for the offlane, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I would tend to think it's probably S4 if I had to guess.
Reserve time.
I mean, that's the thing. Like these new teams, new rosters, you have no idea how they've been screwing what they feel is going to be good, and yeah, S4, of course, he's the Puck player that everyone remembers from TI3. So Newbie now. I mean, you asked where I want to see them go. I wouldn't mind seeing like some kind of, or let's say, big right click carry like a PA. But Sven is similar to PA. Once you get the Blink Dagger, you get in the Drow's face and you just burst her down really quickly. Sven is actually like a very similar hero to PA in that way. Just you need to farm a Blink, whereas PA has the built-in Blink Dagger. PA has to farm a Deso, whereas Sven doesn't need Deso because you've got God Strength. So they both kind of have their little
and God Strength
differences.
Is so good against Drow.
Yeah. You farm faster as a Sven than a PA does. PA just has that more reliable and perhaps more early mid-game presence than the Sven. But I think Newbie, I mean, as we saw last game, they want to have more late game secured. Like they like to play these slower paced games sometimes.
So, pick number 4 for the Green Dream. Still yet to fully lay their cards down on the table until now. They grabbed the Lady Dusa. So, it is the Drow Dusa. I don't know if it's fair to call this like a straight up cheese strat or anything like that because it can scale. Lanes are decent, but it puts a lot of pressure on the puck gods to get a decently timed blink and control the game.
Yeah, both Medusa and Drow kind of want to farm, but they can also group up to hit towers, but they don't gank or move around the map. Neither hero mobile at all. It's a kind of game where a Drow even needs to go for like a Shadow Blade type build just to find pickoffs and help create space, because puck can't always do it alone in some ways. Come mid game time, like you need to have like maybe a second space creator. But I think OG, if they have a good laning stage, can just group up, hit towers, and Newbie are going to struggle to fight into them because of the Medusa pick. Stone is going to make Sven's life very difficult.
Yeah, where Sven is great against Drow, he is not so great against Dusa. And also, they pretty much know there's not going to be that big mana burn hero unless they pick someone who can buy a Necro book and run a support Lina. The main thing I guess that would have been available is the EMP in poker, but that is now removed. So I like that ban by OG, and it does tie Newbie's hands quite a bit heading into this last pick. Like, how are they going to deal with the farm Dusa?
Oh wow, classic. Newbie's turn to pick. And a hero that it's kind of fallen off as a support, but with the Drow you get that bonus right-click damage. It makes you a little bit better, and well, that's how Newbie are going to deal with it. They're going to go even more late game. They get Alchemist. They're going, unless you go the fighting Alchemist build, which has seen some play, but this almost to me feels like them just saying, let's just stall this game. Let's go for the super late.
Do you like this pick? It gives you acid spray as well, worth mentioning, against a lineup that may want to push in the mid game. Kind of tough to push through the acid in the early to mid game, but it is greedy, like you said.
Okay, it's harder their draft much harder to execute right now, but it's the right kind of idea, I think, given where the draft was with the first 4 picks, to go for someone like an Alchemist. So you're going to just hope that you can stall, play out the late game, but Newbie are going to be put under a lot of pressure by the pushing power of OG's lineup. And the thing is, OG's lineup can scale pretty well. If they're out farming, if they get map control, push down all the outer towers, they can keep Newbie in their base, ward up, maintain map control, starve them out, and you don't have to necessarily win the game super early as long as you're getting map control early for OG.
It is another melee core, though, against an incredible anti-melee draft. Like, every single one of these heroes just excels at punishing melee heroes, whether it's the Gust, the Frost Arrows to slow them down, the Fire Spirits, you're more likely to get multiple heroes hit when you're clumped up, and you tend to clump when you're melee, the Coil, Stonegaze, like, all of this stuff. Even the Earth Spirit is just so good against these heroes who get on top of each other, so I do feel like the execution is going to be a little tricky here for Newbie gods.
Yeah, it's hard, and they don't have. I mean, they're going to be very reliant on the KP Blink Dagger, and even when he gets that blink, he needs like some reliable follow up. Like Sven has to have a blink as well to immediately back him up. So there's a lot of different items they have to farm, and then even when they have these items, they have to kind of synergize and combo them well. It's very easy for them to just kind of slightly fumble a team fight.
The lights are aggravating poor Tal's eyes, so we'll have a moment here. Overall, if you had to pick a winner for this one, gods, are we going to a game 3, or is it just going to be OG cruising a 2-0 victory?
I feel even more confident about OG's draft this game than last game. I liked their draft last game. This game, I like it even more. So for OG fans, I think draft-wise, you feel very confident and happy, but Dota's never as simple as just having the better draft and winning. I mean, we saw that, like, going back to TI, Wings would find ways to win with a draft deficit, and sometimes you just look at the draft and you're like, well,
or what the analysts thought was a draft deficit. Yeah. as all too often, it was funny towards the end of TI that, like Winter and Draskell and most of the guys on the panel, they're just like, you know what, I don't really understand this draft, but it's Wayne, so it's probably the better draft, and they're just going to win. Yeah. It was quite funny to watch that evolution as they continued to just flummox not just the casual viewer, but even the experts.
Well, I mean, the OG draft, kind of what they're looking to do here. Win lanes, have all that bonus damage, right-click damage with the Drow Aura. It's going to be very difficult to do much early on. Newbie's draft doesn't exactly roam all that well either. I mean, Oracle Lina kind of mediocre. They've got an early smoke, so perhaps they'll look for an early pickoff on someone like the mid lane, but it's not exactly reliable pickoffs by any means.
It is a strong tri lane, so if they catch S4, now granted, potentially can be difficult to kill once he gets the point in phase shift, but that level 1 phase shift does not last too long. But yeah, if they're, it's kind of an underwhelming gank, right? You like charge up a Fortune's End into a Lina stun, into I guess an Alk stun if they're going mid. It's generally not that scary of a combo.
Newbie smoke a very late smoke. They want to fight and contest this rune. They're going to try and catch OG by surprise here.
Ah, the
I think they're going to bait KP, have like KP run in unsmoked, or what's the play here?
And so far S4 handing back for the other rune. OG being a little greedy with only 2 heroes. They creep down and they are wise to it. The Fortune's End comes out. No Tail able to back away though. So Alchemist secures his bounty rune. That will give him an early healing salve.
Didn't execute that gank as well as they would like, and it does reveal it's going to be an offensive tri lane. Immediately, I imagine Drow Ranger may look to adjust lanes, but for now, Drow is committing to this bottom lane against an Oracle Lina Sven, and this is what Newbie have in mind as far as the laning disadvantage. If they run standard lanes, they just lose the lanes and perhaps lose the game off of that. So they're going to look to take on the Drow's lane. Phoenix not the best hero to really contest a lane with, and even if Earth Spirit comes down bottom, it's Newbie with a laning advantage down here.
All right, guys, we will try for the old reconnect, so hopefully we don't miss first blood, but it is quite laggy.
Uh-oh. S4, is he going to get solo kill on KPLD? You may have...
Did I?
You may
the puck. He's the puck in his solo kill in the X.
Possibly? No, it's not happening. KP's juking. We're good. We're good.
Okay. S4 was really low. Did he, like, dive the tower or something? When I disconnected.
Whoa, S4 actually going to be giving up the solo kill.
All right, KP looking to make a play here. That orb is on cooldown. One more spin and an auto attack or two, and S4 is going to be in a lot of trouble. Oh, he's so low, and he will make it out. In fact, with the rotation of Ana and the roll forward from JerAx, oh my god, it's actually laggier, but regardless, exits the deck. Holy crap. Perfect slideshow indeed. Let's try that again.
That was... KP got a bit unlucky initially. He had no spins. He had like 2 or 3 units hitting him and wasn't spinning. And then he got the spins finally, but it was like he'd already committed to chasing and diving, and then the spins came in. So we see Drow immediately TP from bottom to top, realizing that you've got to get your farm and levels on Drow. You can't contest this lane. Phoenix may look to stay down bottom, but doesn't even have pull camps to draw this wave back. So even Phoenix can't leech XP of this bottom lane.
Still trying to load back in here, admiring the Tramp Protector artwork. So they're going to leave KP here, but they bring in some support as Faith will join the lane. So GoDz, with the lane adjustment, see now it looks like a 2-on-2 from both teams. Do you favor the adjustment for either team?
I mean, it's definitely good for OG as far as right now. The Drow's actually in a lane where she's not going to feed. If she stays bottom, she would just give up kill after kill. So they're putting S4 in the tougher lane where the chain stuns are, the Sven stun into the Lina stun. Imagine what we may see is some kind of response from Kaka where he starts maybe moving around the map a bit.
Still level 1 on S4 here. He does have the orb available. And will use it to jaunt away, but he's under heavy pressure. Really needs that level 2, level 3 to be able to farm more confidently in the lane. As we see JerAx trying to make a move on the mid lane. Perhaps was going for a courier snipe or a backstab. Won't find that opening. Kaka just aggressively looking to zone out Fly. Pump faking with the stun, thinking about it. And settling for some auto attacks instead. So the musical lanes, while they might be good for the Drow, definitely not working out well for S4 with 2 CS. Meanwhile, every core Newbie at 12+.
Yeah, this is where the puck as an offlane is really risky, but the TP from Earth Spirit bottom, they want Kaka, and it looks like they should be able to get him a couple more right clicks. Kaka's faster, he's got boots, and that may save his life.
Now Stormbolt coming through. S4 will end up dropping U9 with the timely rotation to assist there and turn things around. They get the S4 kill, despite JerAx also roaming in. So good adjustment. This does leave No-Tail free farming mid, but Alchemist, I believe, has already gotten at least 2, if not... Yeah, he's gotten 2 bounty runes so far with potential for a 3rd here, as we're closing in on that 4-minute mark.
We missed the roll bottom.
I just like saw where he was going, but the roll happened like a full 5 seconds late. I think my Dota's slightly intoxicated.
As long as that means Twitch chat can't flame Jarex. It was the lag. He didn't actually miss it, guys. It was just perfect world, you know. Jarex is still the perfect Earth Spirit player that everyone knows him to be. Wow, Puck gets solo killed top. Well, I know Oracle was up there as well, but Puck now rotating back top. This is truly musical lanes and not working well for OG.
And it is a bounty rune, but this one to no tail. So no bounty rune for the Alk. That's the silver lining here. They will force Fly to dive away. So the Icarus dive committed, and yeah, there was a kill top, as you mentioned. Let's see. S4 just going to waltz back to the lane. Radiant scan to scout for any sort of rotation on the no-tail. Overall, things looking pretty good for Newbie here as they advance to 1,500 gold lead, about a 1,200 or so experience advantage. And the pressure is on Drow, not farming particularly well. Things looking up.
Yeah. Drow can't really find a good lane to go to anymore now. Low HP. Very risky down bottom. A Sven into Lena stun could just be the death of Honor, so risky times. And as S4 is back top, he's probably just telling his team, look, I just need to go somewhere where I can get some levels. And this Puck pick looking like it could be a bit of a liability for OG right now.
Well, it is what you brought up, that the offlane Puck, even with Drow, can struggle, especially if she's not allowed to get those easy levels. But OG still ganking on mid. It's an unusual tandem with the Phoenix Earth Spirit. And all the pressure in the world on Jarex. If he doesn't hit a perfect initiation, there's no way they get this kill. So he rolls in, and a swing and a miss. And, well, now the rolling. It's on the way out.
It's that roll. I don't think he's getting that kill there. Oh. The damage from Medusa, Phoenix, level 2 Phoenix, and Earth Spirit, not all that impressive. So it was a bit of a low percentage kill anyways.
So we're going to try to refresh the slideshow here. Well, there's not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, it should be in the clear for now.
I don't know. Sometimes you reconnect and you like it's totally fine, and then other times you reconnect 5 times and it's just as bad, if not worse. But well, I'm trying, guys. Not a whole lot else we can do here. But for now, KP, we'll have to see what he builds towards. To drop the Quelling Blade early, not the most common pickup on an axe, but. I guess with the axes nowadays we tend to see the Vanguard build more often. Do you expect that, or do you think he just goes straight into a blink this game?
I mean, Vanguard Crimson Guard against the right click damage of Drow is always going to be great. KP looking for the solo kill on top.
Oh no, another missed roll by Jarex, and KP with the punish. Now Faith coming in to assist KP, trying to heal him up, keep him alive. Even turns back forward, and I think is doing bad things to that Earth Spirit. Indeed, he is. The double kill, 1,100 gold banked up, and this all happens while S3C just calmly farming the jungle away.
So they've got this ward. They can see him farming the jungle, but you've had such a bad early game laning stage. You can't gank him. You can't contest this. Your supports are level 3. Your cores are just trying to farm. You don't have cores that play aggressive or invade this jungle. So this ward it's not that it's a bad ward by any means. Like, you see what the Alk is doing, but it's not a ward that leads to kills or aggression. And that's where OG, this early game, is a big worry for him.
No tail. Eventually he's going to take up shop here in the bottom lane. Ana, sorry, off to the jungle. And Jarex still searching for that clean initiation here. He's really struggled a bit. He's trying to bait No Tail, who has to commit the Stone Gaze. He gets off the call and then just backs away to the safety of the tower. The Stone Gaze, a fairly decent cooldown, 90 seconds. It will be unavailable. KP forces it out for very little.
That's decent from him. Very little indeed. And looks like it might be a Blink Rush. The Blink Rush allows you to play more aggressive when you've had a good early game. As far as finding kills with your team, the Vanguard is just like you can kind of keep farming, and you're impossible to gank with a Vanguard early as axe. Oh, he's being found now though. Maybe being
hunted by Jarex, but some decent spin RNG might just turn this one on its head. Now the Battle Hunger, only level 1, just using it for that bit of slow.
Very ambitious for Jarex.
Chases in, but yeah, axe is not an easy kill when he's already level 7. So, Armlet is up on the Alchemist. The early Drow pick it's really not paid off, guys. Generally, you expect to win the lanes with Drow nowadays. It's not happening.
Yeah, and that's where I'm not a big fan of like the Puck offlane with Drow. As much as it seems great to have like an offlane who can benefit from the right-click damage, it makes your lanes incredibly weak. And that's something that Newbie have exploited. Even the Phoenix pick, another kind of weak support that it feels like you say you use the word gimmicky to describe it, and it really is. It's like this kind of all-in style where you're just all about this right-click damage in the laning stage, and if opponents get in your face, that just doesn't work well.
Now, there is some Radiant Observer wards. They know what Triple C is up to, but they're not going to have an easy time actually making a move to gank him, as the armlet has been completed. So very tanky Alchemist now. He can just take over the woods. They give Kaka the lane, and this allows Delina to catch up very nicely. Also, Ancient's being stacked. So Newbie, after a strong start in the laning stage, are transitioning beautifully into the mid game here with a strong emphasis on economy. And I guess my question is, what can OG do about this? Like, do you really want to be trading farm with against the Sven, who already has max cleave, an Alchemist who's free farming, and you know, supports that scale pretty well, GoDz? Like, can they afford to just make these trades?
They don't particularly want to, and it's not like Drow is going to hit this timing where she can match up well. Once Sven gets like the blink, you're in trouble. And Alchemist, he hits his couple of item timings as well, gets the Radiance, Man Doctorine, like, you're not going to keep up in farm. You're not going to be able to man fight a Sven. So it's very concerning for OG right now. They want to start taking towers, I think, more than anything, grouping up when possible, but their lineup is so squishy. It's really difficult to do so. Puck has level 6, so I think the play is kind of to go for us. You need to kill heroes to push towers. So I think smoking up and try find a pick off into a tower push is going to be the kind of ideal way to play this. Pushing around the Drow range as possible.
It is a smoke with a level 6 puck, so only 1 point in the silence, not even a max orb yet. And no Blink Dagger puts a lot of pressure on Jerax to start the fight off cleanly. They also don't even have the Phoenix Egg, and they're trying to find something here in the woods, but currently Alchemist not in the neighborhood. And even if they find him, GoDz, there's a blink up on the axe of KP, and he is available to TP anywhere around the map, so this really could backfire. Instead, they're going to creep over towards top, hoping for U9, trying to delay that Armlet or Dominator timing, but U9, he's able to back away. It is a perfect boulder, and they push him right back into the coil. The Sunray coming through as well, but already TP rotations. No, it looks like it got canceled by No Tail, I believe, with the Stone Gaze. No, he just ran in and they decided to go on him instead. Now the Stone Gaze is getting deployed. He freezes all 4. He goes for the TP out, swags away, buys the drum, will escape, but simultaneously U9 just weathers the storm and survives. So in the end, OG, they don't find their kill, but maybe they do get their tower anyway.
Yeah, that was okay for them. If they can get this tower, they might not actually get this tower, but even not getting the tower, it's still like, okay. Oh my gosh!
Oh, mama!
It's fucking greedy.
That was ugly.
He's orbing and he's like, I want to make sure we get this tower, so he's just going to try to get a couple right clicks off before he jaunts at KP. The execution that comes in.
That really was a bloody execution of the Fairy Dragon. Oh my goodness. That was not PG-13. There was a lot of blood.
That's probably good. That's one of the most satisfying Culling Blades I've ever seen. that was
it wasn't like a blink call, like, you know it's coming. It's just like, boom, bam, got him.
Yeah. The doing it without the call is like style points. And doing it when you know this puck is being really greedy, trying to get this tower. Oh. Yeah, it's...
Feels good if you're the axe
KP gotta feel good about that one.
It quickly makes the blink worth it as it catapults him towards that next big item, likely a Vanguard. But more concerningly, I think, for OG is this Alchemist. He's already at 8.4k. He's been completely uncontested. He hasn't even gotten that many bounty runes. I believe it's only 2 or 3 at this point. At best, half of them, but certainly not all. And he is on track for like a sub 15-minute Radiance, maybe even sub 14-minute.
The dream out games are when you get the 12, 13-minute Radiance. That's like when you know everything's going perfectly. It'll be a little later than that. I think it's like the bounty runes you mentioned. And also just, there has been a little bit of pressure like we just saw in his jungle. He wasn't farming as much as he'd maybe like to. You could even tell by his positioning he was wary that they were kind of playing aggressive. And,
oh, hey,
Phoenix.
Fly. How you doing? How you doing, buddy?
Yeah,
and just lives. Ooh. Oh, that was close. The Oracle not quite able to burst him down in time, but that Observer Ward is now revealed. At least the fact that there's something in the neighborhood, and Jerax is looking to deward it here, rolls up the cliff, but the sentry expires, so he has to blow another. Bit unfortunate there on the timing. Do they dare fight Newbie around the pit, though? I don't see them taking an engagement here. Newbie have other ideas, though. They want to fight GoDz. They have the Radiance online with the Armlet, and they are going for the big TI2 classic up the river backstab.
Well, you've seen this one before, LD.
I certainly have, except it didn't end quite like that. He clicks the wrong way, and completely deflates our expectations for this gank. Still, he makes the move on Jarex. The stun comes through, holding him in position. Rather underwhelming, like a $50 dream coil there from S4, but the stone gaze quite a bit better. Can't really mess that up. No tail moves in. Tries to control S-Triple-C, but now the Radiance starts to tick in and they move forward. Fortune's End also off the mark. This is just a comedy of errors from both teams now. Nobody can really seem to hit their spells. S4 jumps directly in to the Storm Bolt. The call follow-up. No dunk required here. Phoenix even going to die during the egg. Can anybody do anything right in this fight? Fortunately for Newbie, they don't really have to do all that much. Just kind of run at you and hit you occasionally. It'll be 3 kills for them. And yeah, it's going to be a tower as well. You've managed to jinx even a very basic flank maneuver, GoDz. Congratulations.
It was meant to be a beautiful team fight with well-coordinated spells, LD. What happened? The thing is, Newbies, like, they're so strong, they don't care. They're happy with a chaotic fight. Like, it's great when you have an Alchemist who, with Armlet Radiance, can fight. Normally you hit this and you're like, okay, I got my Radiance, guess what, I'm going to keep farming. But he's got 1500 HP with this Armlet, and the Radiant side, everyone is very, very underfarmed, squishy in general, and that means Alchemists can actually come to these fights and be effective. So
I do love that timing for them. Get the Radiance and go. A lot of teams like, oh, get the Radiance. Okay, trying to farm my boots to travel. Time to get my meta. Time to get my Octarine. I'll get there eventually. But they're like, Radiance, go. So I agree with you. I really like that shot calling from Newbie.
Again, we see these like aggressive jungle wards from Jarex in this dire jungle, but I mean, OG just aren't in a position. They don't have the heroes. They don't have the early game to play aggressive. So yeah, keeping vision is nice of an Alchemist, but you're not really making kills off of this unless you find like a rare like 4-man smoke with Alchemist being alone. But we're constantly seeing Alchemist at least nearby his team.
And unfortunately, I believe they even know about this ward because they saw him move to the left side of the jungle, instantly pinged out the hill. So
okay.
Kaka may have, it's like, I wonder why Jarex was in our woods. Maybe he was warding that cliff, but not 100% sure if they know exactly where it is. It kind of seemed like they had an idea.
Yeah.
We'll find out soon enough. But like you said, even if they have the vision, it only kind of enables their own farming. It doesn't really allow them to make aggressive plays.
Go for a solo kill top.
Can he get it on Kaka? Oh, this might be the turnaround. Good silence there, though, to prevent that follow-up Dragon Slave. And with another boulder, he'll drop low, but he is in trouble. Outstun crashing in, and Jarex is going home, trying to make plays here. Maybe that extra auto attack from Fly. Oh, it may cost him his own life. He tries to go into the Supernova, and S-Triple-C says, great, I'll kill you in there too, Bubba. KP coming in. Can't dunk the egg, unfortunately. And simultaneously, S4 just cleaned up bottom. This is turning into a slaughterhouse.
Yeah. I mean, OG are in this position, like, Jarek's going for that solo kill Lena. It's a very low percentage play, but when you've had a bad start, you have to go for the low percentage risky plays because there's just not many options and you've got to create space. KP dropping his
target. Stay on target. The boulder smash coming through. They connect. They secure that kill. And S-Triple-C, he's going to stun himself here. He may get kited as well. OG hemorrhaging kills. Oh, they were very greedy, GoDz. And they will pay.
Yeah. Was he trying to drop his blink there? I didn't see what item he dropped, but maybe he was trying to reset his blink there. I thought he was just taunting the Dro. Being cruel to taunting his fellow Australian player, but it was Honor who had the best there. That's 2 huge kills. Axe and Alchemist? That's a 3,000 gold swing.
It's not impressed. Yeah, they were far enough behind that is a massive swing of momentum. And, well, I mean, it was very avoidable, right? Because it was just Drow hitting Axe. Could have easily just TP'd away if or just backed off slowly if the Drow didn't give chase, but they're like, eventually Alchemist is going to get there. When that fight started, Alchemist was like here behind the tier 1 tower and worming his way all the way around. Like, you kind of have to expect OG is going to come and help the Drow. So, a bit greedy, a bit cocky by Newbie, but good job with OG on the punish.
Really buys him some room, and more than anything, just gives him a big boost in gold and farm. Yeah. Still a very good game for Medusa. I mean, you look at all the melee heroes, you look at how Medusa matches up against Sven. Kind of well against, I mean, it doesn't match up amazing against Alchemist just because Alchemist will out-farm you is the big problem there, and there'll be this timing push where Alchemist has like 5, so basically gets 6 slotted like around 30 minutes in, and there's not much you can do.
Is it just all about like going late game for OG? Do you think they have the edge at that stage?
That's their only option now, is to go try get to a stage. So Alk's going to get 6 slotted at this point. Like, unless Newbie do something catastrophically wrong, Alk's going to get 6 slotted by like 30 to 35 minutes. And it's for OG to survive the 6 slotted Alchemist, trying to push and win the game there, or at least take control on map, take Roshan, get Aegis, push high ground. OG have to try go to like the next stage of the game where No-Tail's going to only have like maybe 2 big items when Alchemist is 6 slotted. Maybe he is working a 3rd, but you have to get past that and go just ultra late game with Drow Medusa. It's not amazing by any means, but it's at least doable because you've got ranged heroes that can kite around these melee frontliners, the Alchemist and Sven.
Gradual item progression here. We are seeing the Phoenix Midas slowly under construction. Just got the Gloves of Haste now. S4, I have to imagine getting a Blink up to 1900, but not quite there yet. Yeah. Jarek's actually beating him to the Blink Dagger timing. That is a sad sight for an offlaner with Drow Aura, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Nearly 20 minutes in.
OG will take what pickups they can get, like when they Axe play too aggressive there, but they can't be the aggressors. They've got to wait for Newbie to come to them, and that's what we're seeing here. Much less real estate available for OG to farm, and No-Tail doing what he can to try to finish the Lincolns, but could be a potential smoke if they feel like they can find a target isolated by themselves, but they don't want to take a head-on 5v5 fight.
Yeah, they don't have that vision anymore. They in fact did get dewarded, so it looks like Newbie correctly identified both wards, actually. The one over here may have expired before they got there, but their jungle is completely dark, so you mentioned OG smoking. Just look at the map for them. That feels so risky, especially at nighttime.
This is, I mean, they're going to have the lanes. They have to. The other big thing is like an Alchemist with Manta can just always be pushing out your lanes. I can TP to a lane, send the Manta illusions, and you're always in a position where you don't push out lanes all too fast. Drow is not the fastest pushing hero, so you're always visible on the map, or it's very apparent. If there's like a creep wave at a tier 2 tower that's not being defended, it's like, well, I guess our opponents are smoked up. So the limited wave clear on OG's side is a limiting factor in their ability to move out on the map.
OG do have that blank on S4 now, trying to set up a trap here. Jarek's also creeping through the trees. They may find U9, though he's still safely ensconced behind the tree line. Medusa grabbing her Lincolns just now. U9 digging in deeper, tunneling his way through. OG yet to show these other heroes at the creep wave, but they will end up backing off, and U9 just going to TP away. So very deliberate, patient play. The real thrust forward comes in the mid lane, where SCCC goes to work on the tower, has the Manta complete now, working already towards the Octarine, or maybe an Aghanims, we'll find out soon enough. Has that point booster now picked up. So Newbie definitely in the driver's seat here as far as map control, with their Alchemist officially about to double up the enemy cores, and still Sven and Axe hanging in there when it comes to net worth.
This Alchemist gaming, U9 didn't go for the Helmet of Dominate. It hasn't been stacking Ancients all that much, so his farm is not that impressive, and that's the one thing I was kind of worried about when I saw this Sven Alchemist. I was like, don't these two heroes both want all the stacks in farm? Like, there's not going to be as much room for a Sven, but U9 is just playing more of the fighting style carry. He's the one who kept the Drow Ranger down a bit earlier, and that will look to continue to do so.
Radiant scanning that area outside the pit as they move down the river. Let's see if OG actually consider a gambit. Jarek's even going to walk all the way in, looks to drop a ward.
Round 2 of the play, LD. Can they manage it this time?
All right, KP looking for the clean initiation, but Jarek's there to break the smoke and rolls away, and that is that. Yep. So round 2 is also a whiff.
Yeah, this is disappointing. These teams need to go back and study some Dota 2 history, realize what they're meant to be doing here.
Some of us remember the good old days, GoDz. Benaroya Hall, Na'Vi, back when Puppy was still on the team. How times
these youngins like Nana weren't even around then. They're
whippersnappers.
Still in preschool or something, yeah.
They're going to coil KP, though. They're going to commit a lot to try and bring him down, but the Oracle gets off the false promise. Again, Jarek's finally starting to get some momentum here with a 2-hero boulder smash, but they just completely slaughter S4, committing heavily to bring him down. So it's a 2-for-1, but they get heroes that don't really need all that much farm at this point, and still all the while Alchemist pushing out the top lane. S4, depth number 7. He is over half the team's depth. Can they get something out of this? They really want a road. They're going to try.
I mean, this is... I feel like the last 5-10 minutes has been really good for OG. Like, Newbie have just been not all on the same page as far as whether they're defending towers, whether they're fighting. Like, KP getting caught out there while the Alchemist is just like, nah, I'm farming, finishing up my next couple of items. I don't really want to fight into them. And it's hard to find OG, because if you come as 5, they're just going to disengage and kite you around. OG have the kind of mobility, at least positioning advantage, because they're these ranged heroes. They've had good vision up. Jarek's is playing in such a way where he's just scouting out these ganks and then rolling away. So he's constantly wary of where Newbie are coming from. And Newbie have struggled to find clean initiations and have given up now like 3 big kills in a row. We saw the Axe die twice and the Alchemist die maybe 5 minutes ago, so this has led to Drow as well as Medusa in an alright place as far as their items. They're both out farming Sven. They're nowhere near an Alchemist, but
yeah, it's not like you can give Sven an axe and really expect him to be that much more of a carry. You know, sure, it's nice for the team, but
dude, that's like the counter to Drow. Like Sven ultimate is like giving your whole team Drow aura.
Yeah, but you have 3
When you
melee
put your
heroes,
ultimate.
and one of them just wants to spin, not swing.
Drow aura for melee heroes, but I don't know.
Got aura for days. Do you like the Sven build? He's now going into a BKB. No Echo Saber. Already did not go Dominator, as you pointed out. Or like, it like you said, just feels a little discombobulated. Like clearly Alchemist wants to play the farm game. Why would Sven not want to do the same?
No farm on the map, I guess is probably to say. Like an Alchemist with Octarine Travels Manta takes so much farm on the map, and at some point you've just got to allocate something to the Sven. The BKB is a necessity against the Puck Earth Spirit. Oh, they're going to find Jarek's bottom.
Oh, hey, Ana, but U9 making his presence felt on the bottom lane while that happened. As Triple C moving in, can almost finish off the Radiant Bird, gets the job done, now tries to turn the runaway, flies out of mana here, he can even chase for more. They're unable to get that full Stone Gaze stun, he lobs the stun back the other way. Onto S4, starts to beat him down. Somebody deal with this madman as he goes on to No Tail. He is pretty low, but he's got a fresh chemical rage to work with, needs to get out of that Sun Ray, can heal right back up, can stick around, he goes in for the deep lob. They're going to work now on the Phoenix Egg, they bring that crashing down to earth, and now No Tail gets chased. Another call could be the death of him as well. KP, 1 second to go. He's going to get it off, and No Tail does have a decent amount of mana, but they continue pursuit. That's 4 dead. This could be the last man down. OG getting completely cleaned up. The dunk, unfortunately, will rim out.
He's got Aegis, so I mean, his Aegis, so better make him go heal up while you push some towers. But that's the Alchemist 1v5. That was just a matter of time, and that's where Newbie hadn't been playing all that coordinated. They have to fight around this Alchemist. He's a beast right now. He's so farmed and far ahead of everyone. There's no need for him to not be fighting around. Unfortunately, his TP bottom gets cancelled. It looks like Kaka's going to get solo killed by Jarek, so he's trying to TP bottom to help out, and then throw the stun, but he TP cancelled, stunned himself.
He killed the creep wave, I think, before he could get the TP off. So. Still ends up going down, Jarek's finding the solo kill, but it's only
not too big
a solitary Lina who already spent her gold and is well on her way to an 8th lens to go with the Glimmer Cape, so a further tax on some already very poor supports here for OG.
Well, OG are going to have their work cut out for them. Going to defend high ground for a while probably and just play on the back foot. It's still an Aegis for a couple of minutes, but
is there a point like in your dream, like in your OG Green Dream world, you know, where like let's say they have close to equal farms somehow? Do they have the better late game at that point?
Yeah, equal farm. I prefer to be playing their draft in the late game, just because of the range factor. I mean, it's Medusa late game is absolutely scary as all hell. Drow as well can actually go late game pretty well against Alchemist and Sven, these melee heroes. Alchemist doesn't really have the item space to go for a Blink Dagger as a gap closer. Sven does have a Blink Dagger, but Sven himself just gets kited really badly. You throw like an Aghanim Scepter on a Puck or something, then you can disable him in the BKB. So if OG can if Medusa Drow get equal farm to the Alchemist, yeah, they can win late game, but getting anywhere near Alchemist farm is going to be the big challenge, and that's just unlikely to happen.
Yeah, so Drow just got turned into Chop Suey. That was pretty painful.
Yeah.
Went for the Sanj and Yasha. A rather late pickup by Ana, but he just seems like he's like, I gotta get something now. You know, I'm under so much pressure. Any sort of cheap stats I can pick up to not be turned into sushi, but even that's not enough.
Well, push could be coming at 25 seconds without Drow and no buyback as well. SCC has all the items he needs. I guess he can replace that armlet in a bit, but he may even just start pulling Ag Scepters.
And the Blink Call is going to get things started here. No Tail does get caught out. KP being kept alive by the Oracle Wall. Elsewhere, Alchemist Solutions working on Jerax. No full commitment here. Newbie are going to go for the slow, safe siege.
Quite hard to push into the Medusa. Medusa on the front lines with an Aegis on top of that is just like, well, we can't really kill Go and Medusa. Axe goes on Medusa, then Axe just dies. Like we saw there had to be false promise to be kept alive, so I think Newbie are going to look at this like, well, let's not really rush into a push right now.
Well, at the same
and the
time,
thing is, like, we talk about the Yeah, we talked about the carries catching up to Alchemist. Like, Alchemist is kind of 6-slotted, or at least very close to being 6-slotted. And that means it's only going to be Drow Medusa catching up. But he can start pulling Ags. Ags on Lina, we've got Ags on Sven, on Axe. I mean, Oracle has an Ags. They all have Ags upgrades, some of them better than others. But this means his supporting casts are just going to get that much stronger in the late game as well.
And that is a scary Ags, especially the Lina one. Like, if you go late with the Lina, you know, let's say you do have a farm Drow, picks up that BKB. Same for the Dusa. That pure damage really makes a dent in your armor and helps secure these kills a lot quicker. So, like you said, there's a lot of room to grow. And Newbee are in no hurry to end this game, as they have OG and at least a half Nelson. Probably trying to make it a full soon. The aggressive wards to pin them back and limit their mobility around the map. And all the while, they farm everywhere. Ana forced back to the jungle. Fly tentatively creeping out in the top lane, but as soon as they get out of the base, it's seemingly endless barrage of illusions that just force them right back.
Yep. No-Tail, recognizing this, has picked up a Maelstrom, looking for some wave clear, and that's really one of the biggest lacking things on this OG draft still, is just being able to push out these lanes. So seeing like a Drow go into kind of like an Ags Maelstrom type build as well, maybe necessary, and it's really very Newbie controlled game right now.
Here comes the backstab, though. It's a hasted, angry Sven. Chop number one. Let's get this party underway. Has the crit ready to work with. Good dodge there on the boulder smash. Now the chase forward. One swing brings Jarrett's almost down. Two. He's nearly dead off of that. 3 hits will do the trick. And now KP jumping into position. He's going to find Ana. No-Tail does get off the stone gates, but it may be too late as they just deftly sidestep it. Dive onto No-Tail, trying to force out his egg. Unable to find the kill. And now that Laguna Blade chunking on a low. The Sun followed up. Secures the kill. And now the Hounds are going to descend on No-Tail. They've heard him away too. They force out a buyback. Ana trying to recommit quickly. Manthing out of the Drow silence as Newbie disengaged. They only lose an axe. They kill 3. They force out a buyback. And the man with the golden sword, walking right back in, has now completed an unusual item here for Alchemist. He will get an Eye of Scotty.
A lot of stats. I guess just to
Good,
help him
good
run
for the
forward, and
illusions,
then
I guess.
yeah, well, not sure what would have been better, really. I guess the Shiver's Guide you sometimes see, but yeah, it seems like an alright choice. You don't need a BKB as the Alchemist this game so much, so...
You're not going to be right-clicking that much during Stone Gaze, so Abyssal maybe not the go-to choice here either.
Makes your illusions tankier as well, so seems like an alright choice. Doesn't really matter too much. Whatever your last time is makes you stronger. The axe being pulled soon, though, will be where the game can get fun, for at least for the newbie supports.
Well, I do have some vision here on to Mr. U9, but he is already backing away. Seems like they won't be able to corral him. I guess the real story with the Alk is not so much what he's buying, but more he's almost done buying for himself. He's got eggs number 1, and who's our lucky winner?
And he's confident. He's not even saving for buyback. He's just like, yeah, it's fine.
It is the Sven. All right. Here we go. The Aura. Who's going to benefit the most for this? I guess the Alk.
The Alk himself. That's why he's giving it to Sven, because he's like,
This is basically the best way he can buff himself. Yeah.
Why not? It's a lot of bonus damage for the Alk, so...
Also, maybe explains the Scotty a bit more. You get more stats out of that than some other choices, so...
Yeah.
Opposed to the Aura based on your base stats, so...
125% for allies, though, is... Whew, that's decent for Alchemist, and his illusions to a lesser extent.
So...
Wait, I guess his illusions
it only works
benefit from
on
it, or?
heroes, right?
Yeah.
It says allies
Sure
in the illusion phrase. I'm not, I think it's only heroes, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, Newbie are in cruise control now. They have 2 of the most farmed heroes on the board. Roshan is respawn. They will have buybacks aplenty. They're up 25,000 gold. Game 2 is looking real good, and they forced the Drow to buy back earlier. I mean, we've talked about, yeah, if OG can somehow close that gap, but my god, it is a big-ass chasm at this point.
It's not being closed up. It's a gaping white hole that's being stretched out. It's getting bigger and bigger, and Newbie are going to continue to stretch that hole.
He's already got 4,700 more gold. He just bought that first axe.
That was all. Well, you know, he could only buy a second axe. You know, like if he wanted, he could give his whole team have bags probably by 35 minutes if he just focused on farm. That's how.
Seems
ridiculous
frog,
this
man.
hero.
Seems frog.
I mean, he was 6 slotted at 29 minutes, probably around 29 minutes, you know, so. Oof.
Maybe OG can start soliciting some charitable donations. We saw the item drop earlier from KP. If they're lucky, maybe SCCC will pull them an egg.
That's pulling the other team. That's the comeback.
That's the ultimate
like,
BM, right?
People have egg scepters. How about me now?
Hey guys, you want to give me a little extra gold when I kill you? That's CCC, the man in front, just going to work on buildings here, and those buildings struggling to withstand the punishment he can deliver. They will bring it down to critical HP. He's going to march back in, has the fresh chemical rage ready to go. The only thing that can really slow him down is that sun ray, but he will be glimmered. He will re-engage. Stunning no-tail into a call. Very nicely done. Ana there to try to keep him alive as they drag him back, but now the stone gaze gets forced out. He just muscles his way forward. Gonna Manta now, but he is pretty low. Oh, that call though, or rather that stun I should say from U9. Gets the 2-hero store hammer, lays in with the justice, and now on the no-tail. Gunned down by Kaka. Looking for more. Jarek's frantically rolling away, and there is no escape, I think, from that very angry Nordic man, as he'll find another kill. 3 have fallen. The dieback overall on the Drow. It's a godlike U9, and it's a good game. Newbie takes game 2. They force it fighting game 3. 25 to 8 to score, and it felt like 250 to 8 with how dominating this one was, guys.
Huge gold lead by the NA. And what a great last pick for the Alchemist. We've seen now like 2 games in a row that overall last pick of the draft where you pick up this hero that the opponents don't get a chance to counter or deal with can be just so influential. This game the Alchemist, last game the Death Prophet, and both games that 5th pick really is the influential hero, and Newbie just farmed up a storm on this Alchemist. And I think they recognized that OG were going to just play the laning stage in a kind of passive way because they had this weak lanes with Puck. Like, it was weak lanes with a Drow, which is not what you want to have. The Phoenix pick and the Puck pick, I think both kind of weak points of OG's draft. When you have a Drow, you don't want to go all in and just pick up too many ranged heroes, and that's exactly what Newbie exploited with their laning stage.
So game 2 in the books now. Who is going to be facing the winner of Secret versus EG? That puts you at a guaranteed top 3 for the whole MDL event. Decent amount of money at stake, but more importantly, the winner of this event, GoDz, they might have the fast path to the major. So that is a pretty important event with so many big names here. That is game 2, guys. I'm LD. He's GoDz. You are watching, of course, Beyond the Summit. Our coverage of Mars TV's MDL will continue after this.